Before we talk about what ATEEZ's storyline is, maybe we should start with what ATEEZ's storyline is not. ATEEZ's storyline is not a story about pirates who overthrow the government. It's really not. It's really not. It's really not what the story's about. And the reason I say that with such confidence is because ATEEZ's storyline is an allegory. This is not something that's even unique to ATEEZ or KQ Entertainment. Basically, every K-pop universe storyline is an allegory. This is standard practice for the way this particular genre of art is produced. The book Animal Farm by George Orwell is a pretty well-known example of an allegorical story. If someone were to go and read Animal Farm, they might finish that book and say, "Wow, Animal Farm is a book about talking farm animals." And they would be wrong. That's wrong. Because Animal Farm is actually a book about the 1917 Russian Revolution and Soviet Russian politics. And in fact, a whole bunch of the talking farm animal stuff doesn't make any sense unless you view that story through the Soviet politics lens. Can you imagine if the majority of literary analysis on Animal Farm exclusively discussed the talking farm animals? It's ridiculous to even say that out loud, because the only kind of worthwhile analysis of Animal Farm is analysis that acknowledges the deeper allegory. And for me, all of the ATEEZ are pirates, and sometimes they wear black fedoras, and they have a magical hourglass that does things because of the moon, and they travel to a new universe where they lead an anarchist movement to overthrow the government. All of that is talking farm animals. And it can be really fun to theorize about that stuff, to try to connect various hints and clues, to flesh out the timeline. It's like a massive scavenger hunt you play with a couple thousand people on the internet. I've done a lot of that kind of theory writing in the past, and I no doubt will make videos like that in the future. But at the end of the day, that's not what the story is about. I personally do not engage with something like the diary entries on a purely literal level. I don't see the text written on the pages of the diary entries as the story, as the framework that everything else must fit into. I think the diary plotlines are like the fictional topsoil that lies above the deeper story. To truly make sense of ATEEZ's lore, you have to unpack those metaphors and see them for what they are. And I think saying that ATEEZ's storyline is a story about pirates who overthrow the government ignores the narrative depth, creativity, and genuine care that has gone into crafting a story that has at its core a very sincere message. So then, what is ATEEZ's storyline about? I would say it's a story about finding your treasure, about the long journey to make your dreams a reality. It's a story about how hard that journey is, about the people and obstacles that will try to stand in your way. It's a story about overcoming adversity, about growing up and leaving home behind. It's a story about pain and hope and friendship and love. It's a story about what we mean to ATEEZ and what they mean to us. It's a story about how music and art brings us together. It's a story about believing that you are special and valuable and that your dreams matter. And you don't have to have a perfectly functioning timeline or do gobs of research or find every breadcrumb to understand this story and to have it be important to you. This story is for a tinny, not for a certain special few who claim to have figured everything out. It's for all of us. If you've ever watched an ATEEZ video after you've had a bad day, if you've ever made a friend with someone in the ATEEZ community, if you've ever felt comforted by something a member has said, If their music has ever given you the courage to do something difficult, then maybe consider the fact that you understand this story just as well, if not better, than those of us who spend hours obsessing over the minute details of time traveling pirates.